Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Melissa, for those of you who don't know. And for today's video, we're going to be doing a makeup tag. So I saw Juicy Jazz do this. This is all about drugstore makeup. I've been testing out so much drugstore makeup, and you guys know I already had a few gems from the drugstore. So I'm super excited to talk all drugstore today. If you guys are interested and you guys want to see a luxe version of this, definitely leave me a comment down below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you do enjoy, if you do like tag videos, and also if you do like what you see, please consider subscribing. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started, guys. Alright, so let's just get right on into the first question. Question number one. If you could only use one drugstore / affordable brand, what would it be? I would have to say Maybelline. Just because Maybelline has a lot of products that are good for like oily skin, and I just did a full face of Maybelline, I think it was last month or the month before, and I really loved a majority of the products. I love their brow products, I love their Super Stay foundation, I love their powders. Like, if you're oily, definitely check out Maybelline. They are one of like my favorite brands. I started basically using Maybelline from the get-go, and I have loved a lot of their products. So definitely Maybelline. I'm definitely a Maybelline girl at heart. I love so many of their products. What's the most underrated drugstore or affordable brand? I think I would have to say Profusion. Reason being is I did do a full like testing Profusion and makeup. I'll link it in the eye for you guys, but they have such amazing quality like blushes. They have really good highlighters, really good bronzers. Their eyeshadow palettes are amazing. I have two of their eyeshadow palettes and I reach for them constantly. Like when I was going to work, I used one of them literally every single day because it was a neutral palette. Very easy to blend. It came with a brush. They're like the neutral colors. There's also like the more bright colors if you're into that. They literally have a palette for everybody. So I would definitely have to say Profusion, and not a lot of people talk about Profusion. I ordered it from their website. You can also get it at some Targets, and then I've also seen them at TJ Maxx, which is amazing. What is the most overrated drugstore or affordable brand? I would have to say Morphe. I mean, I love Morphe, but I feel like I'm not one of those like die hard everything like Morphe makes is amazing. I feel like there's always been a little bit of like hype around Morphe and influencers. A lot of influencers are like 100% Morphe, like ride or die. Me, I like them, but I don't use them in every single video. I have a few of their brushes. They're good brushes, but there's like amazing e.l.f. brushes, Real Technique brushes. So I would definitely have to say Morphe. A lot of people are like die-hard Morphe, and yeah, they're good, but there are definitely other like more affordable brands that I feel like I hype up a little bit more than I hype up Morphe. What is your favorite drugstore product under $5? Okay, I'm gonna give it 2 because there's literally 2 right off the bat that I'm like, you guys know I pretty much use all of the time. Number 1 is my Covergirl Lid Locket Eye Primer. That is like, it is so good. I am so obsessed with it. If you have really oily eyelids, I'm a super oily gal, you're going to love that. Seriously, it I feel like is a dupe for the NARS eyeshadow base. Make sure that my eyeshadow stays in place for like over 8+ hours. Does not crease. It is just so good. I think that's less than $5. Should I double check? Let me double check. It's $6.29. Darn it. Okay, yeah. At Ulta it's $6.29. Maybe at Walmart you can find it a little bit cheaper, but that is so good. Okay, second one, which I know is under, my LA Girl Keep It Spicy lip liner. You guys know I use that all of the time. I'm not wearing it today. I just finished filming an IGTV, but I love that. That is such a perfect nude. It is a retractable lip liner, not rough on your lips, so you're not tugging at your lips. It just applies it beautifully. Like, you can put it all over your lips, you can like blend it out, just use it as a lip liner. It is just the best. One of my favorites, and I literally use that all the time. I have backups on backups on backups of that because it is so good. What is a hidden gem from the drugstore that no one talks about? I feel like one hidden gem that I like, nobody ever talked about it, and I love it so much, is Maybelline Shine Control Powder. I'll insert like a picture of it right over here, but it is so good. It just gives such like a flawless look on your face. It looks like you have airbrush skin. It doesn't have any flashback. It keeps your oils at bay for the longest time. It's really good. It's very affordable. Like, Maybelline like killed it. Maybelline kills it with like oily skin products, so definitely that. Not a lot of people talk about that. I don't think I've seen any other YouTuber like mention it, but it is so good, guys. If you're oily, go get it. What is your favorite drugstore foundation? Okay, so I think one that I always go back to is the L'Oreal Fresh Wear Infallible foundation. That is one that I always go back to. It just provides like a natural matte finish. It looks like your skin, just makes your skin look like a lot better, in my opinion. It just blends out like perfectly. It doesn't emphasize like any texture. I'm super oily and it does not leave me like super oily. It just looks like my skin is just better, and it's very lightweight. Definitely one of my favorites. I always go back to it. If you want something that's a little bit more full coverage, the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation, that is perfect. Oh my god, it's such full coverage, looks beautiful, blends out, not heavy. I would definitely have to say those two are like my top two that I go to all of the time because it's so good. What products do you tend to buy more at the drugstore versus high end? So I feel like one product that, or there's actually quite a few products. Now my Covergirl lid locket, like I have been going through so many drugstore eyeshadow primers. I do have a few high-end ones, don't get me wrong, but I have a more of drugstore version, and that is just because the Covergirl lid locket is so good that I'm just like, why do I have to spend money on like a higher end one? Let's see if more drugstore brands have really good eyeshadow primers for us oily skinned people out there. So I would definitely have to say eyeshadow primer, brow products like 100%, and then also lip liners. I love lip liners, and I have so many lip liners. The LA Girls are my favorite, and my ex Slide On Glide On, that really long one, really love that one. Also mascaras. I feel like I have a lot of drugstore mascaras. My like holy grail is the Maybelline Falsies Lash Lift. It is amazing. The Wet n Wild Skinny mascara is really good. I'm just using this Pixie one today, and I love it so much. So I would only have to say those four categories. I usually tend to buy more drugstore versus high end. What drugstore brand do you think is overpriced? So I feel like this isn't really like 100%, but I feel like NYX can get really pricey. A few of their eyeshadow palettes, granted they are bigger, but they're like $30 something. And I feel like if you spend like an extra like $10-15 more, you can go ahead and get like an ABH eyeshadow palette. So I feel like NYX, yes, they're good. Yes, some of their eyeshadow palettes are good, but they're very expensive, and I feel like they're almost like at that drugstore level price. Just spend like $10 more. So I feel like they're starting to get like a little bit more pricey, and I'm like, wow, yeah. So definitely NYX. No shade at them whatsoever. I love some of their like products. I just feel like their eyeshadow products can get a little bit expensive. What is your favorite drugstore dupe? So I kind of hinted at this already, but I have a few others. So the Covergirl lid locket, I feel like it's a really good dupe for the NARS smudge proof eyeshadow base. They both don't provide like any extra coverage. They just last so long, and they just make sure that your shadow stays in place all day. So I would definitely have to say those two. I feel like that is one dupe that I'm constantly talking about all of the time. Another one is like beauty sponges. So everybody knows beauty blenders. They're like $20 something, but Real Techniques I feel like is a really good dupe. Also Beaky Beauty, you can get that on Amazon. Sorry guys, we had a little bit of technical difficulties. So what is the best drugstore eyeshadow formula? So I feel like I don't have that much like expertise in the drugstore eyeshadow formula like category, and that's just because a lot of the drugstore products, like eyeshadow products that I tried like way back when, I didn't really like. So I feel like I always gravitated towards like high-end eyeshadow palettes. I've now been like experimenting here and there, so I'll give you like a few brands that I really like. So I really love Profusion eyeshadow palettes. They're very pigmented. They have a palette for everybody, like I mentioned before, and they're really affordable. I really like the Wet n Wild color icon palettes. They're tiny, but they're very pigmented, blend out beautifully. And then also the e.l.f. eyeshadow bite palettes, I am obsessed with. They're tiny. They only have like 4 shades in them, but they're so good, and the shimmers are very pigmented. They blend out so beautifully. So those are 3 that like I really love. Again, I really don't have that much expertise to say like what is the best best because I feel like I definitely need to improve. Honestly, I need to improve on my eyeshadow like drugstore products. So if you guys have any recommendations, leave them down below for me, and I would definitely love to try some out. So those are just my top 3, but I definitely need to branch out a little bit more in that category. What's the worst drugstore eyeshadow formula? So again, I feel like I am going off of like what I did like many moons ago, and I feel like it's not really fair for me to answer that. So this question I'm gonna have to skip, and again, that's just because I don't really have that much expertise in that general area. Drugstore brand you used to love but aren't crazy about anymore. I feel like I would have to say Revlon. Like Revlon, I used to really love. They had their Color Stay foundation, I think that was called, for oily skin. It was very, very full coverage. I used it all the time. Their concealers were really, really good, but I feel like Revlon hasn't really come out with that many like new products that I'm like, oh my god, I need to go try it out right now. I feel like most of the time it's like L'Oreal, Maybelline, Covergirl, Wet n Wild, and I'm like, oh my god, even Elf, like where I'm like, oh my god, I need to try them out. But Revlon, I feel like I don't really have any, oh my god, I need to try it out like moments. So unfortunately I would have to say Revlon, but there still are so many good products from Revlon that are like OGs that I use all the time. Like that foundation, I really love their pore filling primer. So they definitely do have some like products that I constantly use even now, but newer products, I really don't find that many that I'm like, yes, I need. Drugstore product you didn't expect to like but totally wowed you. So I don't know if this counts as like a drugstore product, but the ColourPop cream gel liners, oh my gosh, they are so good. When I first saw them, everybody was like hyping them up, but truthfully I thought it was just the like influencers like hyping a product up, but no, they're hyping it up for a reason. Like it is really, really good. So I would definitely have to say that. I love the Honey Dude and Exit. So it's more of like a beige and then a white. Really, really love them. I literally want them in every single color. They're sold out on their website right now, but I'm waiting for that restock email because I want to purchase all of the colors. Like they're so pigmented. I have like really like watery eyes, so for eyeshadow liner to like stay in place the whole time and then also like not budge and just apply like really pigmented, that's very important to me, and they definitely do. So I would definitely have to say that. Favorite affordable eyeshadow palette right now? So I feel like one eyeshadow palette that I always gravitate towards like two is again like my Profusion, that neutral, really, really big one. I use that a lot off camera. Like when I was going to work back in like February, which is insane, I would use that palette so much because it's very easy to blend out. The colors are very pigmented and it's just like so effortless, and it's just a great everyday palette. So that is one that I use and abuse and I love so much. What brand is the most improved? So again, I'm kind of going off of what I know like back in the day versus now. I would have to say like Elf has really, really stepped up its game. Same with Wet n Wild. Like their products and before they were good, but now I feel like they're on the level of like high end. Like they're very, very good. Their prices have definitely gone up, but I feel like the products and like the formula have really stepped up throughout the years. So 100% I would have to say those two brands. Brand you feel like is dying out? I would have to say Almay, because they, I feel like, don't have a lot of products that are like coming out all the time and nobody ever talks about them. Like at least Revlon I feel like people talk about, but Almay I feel like nobody talks about. Rimmel people still talk about, but nobody really talks about Almay. Do you guys use any Almay products? If you do, leave me a comment down below. I would totally love to like learn what you use and if it's good or not. Best new line of products released at the drugstore. So I don't know if this is like new, but like it's new to me. I really like the Elf bite-size eyeshadow palettes. They're really, really good. So I feel like the bite-size collection in general is really, really good. That is the last question, guys. I hope that you guys did enjoy this little tag. It was definitely something different, but I thought it would be fun to switch it up here on my channel. If you guys do like tag videos, definitely give this video a thumbs up. Answer some of the questions down below. I'll leave the questions in the description box, but answer them. I would love to see what you guys have to say, and don't forget to leave me some drugstore eyeshadow palette recommendations. So I hope that you guys did enjoy this video, and don't forget to subscribe if you made it this far and you did like what you see. And I also do upload 3 times a week, so I upload every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But I hope that you guys are well and that you guys are safe, and I will see you guys in a few days in my next video. Bye!